Hey everyone, Sleepy Reader here with the vision on my chest, answering a tag from the Comic Book Aesthete, one of the definitely very interesting guys here on YouTube. Always excited to see a new video from him. In fact, he's made a bit of a comeback, which is great to see. And as part of his comeback, I guess he's kicking off this tag called the CBA Eisner's Award Challenge. And the challenge is to pick a year that's meaningful to you from 1988 on, and then look at who was nominated and who won amongst the Eisners, and find some books that are meaningful to you or that interest you, and talk about them a bit. I guess preferably one winner, at least one winner, and at least one nominee who didn't win. So I, without checking first, I picked the year 2000, which is the year I met my wife. We were married 3 years later, but it was a very exciting year. And so I went and checked what the Eisners look like. You know what? I don't know anything about the Eisners. Sometimes I'll see mentions of it. It doesn't sink in on my head who won the Eisners, who didn't. I was very surprised at what went on that year, because I thought I didn't read many comics that year, but looking at the list, I think I read almost everything on the list of the Eisner Awards. So even though my memory of that time period is of being extremely busy, a lot of romance, going to lots of musical concerts and I guess I was reading comics all that time and just didn't think of myself as spending much time reading comics then. I had a lot more time on my hands, I suppose. I was, well, yes and no. I mean, I was working hard on a freelance writing career, which was different than working a 9-to-5 job like I do now and being a parent. Anyway, so what it turned out to be is year 2000 was the year of ABC Comics and of Alan Moore, because Alan Moore founded ABC Comics. It was a little sub-label of Wildstorm, which was owned by Jim Lee at the time, a spin-off from, I guess he separated it out from Image, but it was his branch of Image, and I have a feeling no one was paying much attention to Wildstorm until The Authority came along, and then all these ABC comics. Certainly, whoever it is that votes on the Eisners, I assume it's professionals in the field, were paying a lot of attention, because Alan Moore and his ABC Comics and co-creators involved specifically with these comics received 16 nominations across all the categories that they might have been voted on. You know, best short story, best single issue, best serialized story, best continuing series, best new series, best anthology, best writer, best coloring, best penciler, best lettering, best cover artist. They're in all of those categories. And Alan Moore won best writer. And in general, ABC Comics, won 7 of the awards, including, I own these single issues, but they're buried in boxes, and I just didn't have the time and energy to look. The first issue of Tom Strong won Best Single Issue. Issues 4 through 7 won Best Serialized Story. Let's see if I can find where that starts. I probably can't. Okay, here we go with issue 4, starting with this issue. They called it the Savine Ingrid Weiss time travel arc. So there's a lot going on in this arc. There's Ingrid, what did I call her? Ingrid Weiss. She's a Nazi supervillain. All of Tom Strong took place in this kind of alternate science fiction-y, not quite steampunk, but kind of like steampunk in the sense that it was the past's vision of the future come alive, and it had a bit of a Victorian angle to it, a bit of Doc Savage, a bit of DC Silver Age, and at times a bit of the Fantastic Four in it. And then all other, I I can't even go through the whole list. I really liked the Tom Strong comics. I couldn't ever quite put my finger on why, partially because they were like little thought experiments, like science fiction thought experiments, mixed up with all those other elements that I already mentioned. And they definitely, I clicked with them on the level of them. A lot of them were science fiction or science theory. They contained little bits of that in there that actually made sense to me. Other nominees include Planetary. I bet Planetary, in another year without all that Alan Moore stuff, I bet Planetary would have won. I love Planetary. And perhaps Planetary, holds up even more over time than some of these American Best comics, although I love the American Best comics, and I highly recommend them. Another nominee was Astro City, not this issue, but this is the easiest one I could grab a hold of. And Alex Ross, who did these covers and a bunch of other covers that year, won for Best Cover Artist. He also did, apparently, variant covers for America Best's #1s, but I never saw those or don't remember seeing them. Promethea and the art team of J.H. Williams and Mick Gray were also nominated. I don't think they were the winners. Who was the winner on Best Artist? Did I write that down? Dan Clowes for 8 Ball. Oh, he won Best Writer/Artist. Kevin Nolan and Jack P. Quick from Tomorrow Stories, which I don't have a copy here with me, but that's another ABC series. Tomorrow Stories were like a lot of quick little quirky science fiction stories. But, so yeah, they were nominated, but they did not win. But Promethea was very exciting, both for the art, and it took yet another angle on kind of a mythological superhero with a strong New Age kind of element. And Top 10 also got nominated. I don't have any Top 10 right in front of me, but Top 10, Alan Moore took yet a different angle on superheroes, in which they were like Hill Street Blues or something in a city where every single person who lived in the city was a superhero, and the police were superheroes, and they had to solve crimes committed by superheroes. And it was just very cool. So, and then at the same time, maybe he didn't produce any that year since it wasn't nominated. Oh no, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is cited in Alan Moore winning Best Writer. He was also doing League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which was another take on superheroes, which used old pulp heroes and old heroes of literature and turned them into a team of science heroes or of literature heroes. So he was just booming out superhero stuff, basically, but all unique and all from each coming from a different angle and going off in different directions. It was kind of a burst of brilliance from Alan Moore. And if Jim Lee hadn't sold Wildstorm to DC Comics and pissed Alan Moore off, who knows where he would have gone from there. I feel that is a sad turning point. But anyway, it was an amazing year. And maybe we're best off with 2 or 3 years of Alan Moore exploding with creativity, and then he goes off and does something else. I don't know. Who could tell? There are these. I recommend these. I love these oversized Tom Strong editions. There is a Absolute Promethea out there somewhere, but they keep talking about publishing a new Promethea where they do it in double-page spread style. Which would be awesome. Each double-page spread getting its own vertical or horizontal page. So that's really taken me back to a great time in comics and told me something about myself, that I had time for comics when I thought I didn't have time. And I was going to the comic book store a lot. Other people that year nominated for Best Writer were Ed Brubaker, Warren Ellis, Mark Millar, Alan Moore, and Alan Moore won, and Greg Rucka. So these awards seem pretty on the nose. I mean, no awards are perfect, and there's always all kinds of weird things going on, but every single one of those people nominated for Best Writer remained a top writer. You know, this is 16 years, 17 years later. They're all still considered top writers in the field. So that's pretty amazing. Laura Dupay, who is now Laura Martin, won for Best Colorist. She's now considered, you know, for her work on The Authority and on Planetary, she's now considered like one of the bedrocks of modern coloring. Chris Ware and Dan Close won a lot, or were nominated a lot and won a little, which, you know, they're still major figures in the more alternative literary side of comics publishing. And, you know, so it goes. Everything here, it's pretty amazing. So I have to thank the Comic Aesthete. I really learned something today about the Eisner Awards. I don't know if their record is that good every year, but this year, this particular year, both told me that, you know, Alan Moore coming back had a huge effect on me, and I bought every single Alan Moore comic I could, and I do remember that brought me into the comic book stores on a much more regular basis than I'd been doing before, where I think I'd just been looking for, I don't know, Neil Gaiman stuff or something. But, yeah, so it both tells me how on the nose the Eisners were, but also that everyone really was noticing what Alan Moore was doing at that time, the people who were paying attention. Because I didn't know, maybe I was the only one who cared. Because I was in a vacuum. So I'm going to tag 4 people. I think that's how many the Comic Aesthete tagged. I tag Adam Day. Adam, are you still out there? I'm not sure. I haven't seen a video from you for a while, and I definitely miss you. I'm going to tag the amazing Murfinator. I know you are out there and busy, but sometimes have time for videos. I'm going to tag Gore Vidal. Gore, I don't think I've seen a video from you in a few weeks or maybe a month, so I hope you're still out there and doing well. I assume you're just busy reading. And I'm going to tag Ghost Critic, Mark, over in England. So I tag you all to pick a year from 1988 to 2015, I guess, or maybe 2016. Are the nominations out? And then go look who was nominated and who won for the Eisners, and see if there's anything there for you to talk about. Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you again soon.